Hey, welcome to an episode of Chad's Beer Reviews. So you might have seen a week or two ago I reviewed Lakefront Pumpkin Lager. Well, tonight we got another one, another pumpkin beer from the same brewery, except this one's an ale and it's barrel aged. So from Lakefront Brewery out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, barrel aged pumpkin Imperial ale. Ale with pumpkin pie spice, and vanilla aged in brandy barrels. Doesn't say much about it other than that. You flip it underneath. It's 12% ABV and it was canned just under 2 months ago, so it's very fresh. So I pour it into the glass, which I feel like I haven't used this in a long time. And coming out of the glass, it's kind of like a kind of maroon burgundy color. And once it's in the glass, it looks kind of brownish, bloodish red. It's actually, the color itself is not very attractive. It gets like a little bit of foam, but it does fizzle away like a soda. It is 12% ABV. That's not totally uncommon. Let's give this thing a whiff. Yeah. This smells like potpourri. It smells like if you walk into like a candle store, especially in the fall, or like one of those country stores where everything is just like cedar. Yeah, it kind of smells like a humidor. Yeah, I would say pumpkin pie spice, potpourri, kind of almost like cedar wood. I'm not super familiar with brandy, so I'm not like super familiar like how that should smell. I think it's more barrel than the actual brandy. This doesn't smell like pumpkin pie plus barrel aged. There is a rum barrel aged Southern Tier pumpkin, which is like that, but this is, to me, this is like you just took like pumpkin potpourri and barrel aged it. And I would say like even the barrel character on, like I'm getting like wood. I'm not getting actual spirit character on, at least as far as the nose goes. I will say like I don't smell any actual alcohol, which is good. I will say it does smell pretty enticing. So if it tastes as good as it smells, I'm going to be pretty happy. Let's dive in here. Cheers. Oh, wow. To me, that's almost more like a, if such a thing existed, like a pumpkin pie English barley wine. Imagine like a J.W. Lee's, like with pumpkin puree added to it. Because like that's like the first thing I get is like that kind of, that barley wine, just like the dark fruits, just like that cherry puree, kind of a pruny, plum, fig kind of thing. At least as far as like the malt base goes. And then, like I said on those, just straight up potpourri spices. Or I think maybe like that fruity character that I'm tasting is the actual brandy. I don't know if I've ever actually had brandy, because I believe brandy is distilled wine. It's not a whiskey. Yeah, so I think that might explain a little bit of the fruity flavor. I mean, also 12% ABV, probably a lot of malt base in there. They said it's made with pumpkin. Pumpkin is like, actual pumpkin is like a squashy kind of, and technically pumpkin is a fruit, not a vegetable. And as far as like the spice, it's more like in that kind of potpourri spice, more like heavy on ginger and nutmeg, not cinnamon, because cinnamon to me is automatically like the flavor of pumpkin pie or any like pumpkin flavored, coffee creamer or cookies or something like that. Yeah, it's interesting. It's like I would call it like sweet and rich. It's pretty bready. Like as far as like the actual malt base in there, even though it smells very woody. I said it smells like a cigar humidor. It doesn't really taste woody. And it's funny because like it actually says it's made with vanilla, and I'm not picking up vanilla per se, because usually vanilla to me just comes across as like cookies or some kind of pastry or cake or something like that. I'm not really getting that on here. Yeah, so I think it's a really good melange of like all these ingredients, and then just like that the barrel character and the brandy is like an interesting twist, because like so many breweries do bourbon barrel or even rum barrel, but it's really rare you see something aged in brandy barrels. Actually, you know what they should do? Maybe they have done. I don't know. Like do like Founders CVS, do like a maple bourbon version. That would be really interesting. I think like maple syrup plus an Imperial pumpkin base brew. I think that would be really interesting. Yeah. I would definitely call this sweet. But to me it's more rich than sweet, if that makes sense. like super super sweet and like fake tasting to me is like cloying, like where it's like it's almost like sickly sweet. This is not sickly sweet. It's also an authentic flavor. So like I'm just getting, like I said, kind of like a barley wine is like the base on there, which it may well be for all I know. And like the fruity character, that could be from just lots of malts and a long boil, or it could be whatever yeast strain they're using, which, I mean, it could be an English strain or something. This does not come across as Belgian-y to me. By the way, 12% ABV. I mean, I can definitely tell that it's a strong beer. And I think like kind of the fuller mouthfeel on this certainly kind of imparts that. But the 12%, especially considering this is a fresh can, like, you know, it hasn't been aged for a long time. To me, it's very subtle, and I would say maybe not subtle, but gentle. Like, this is not burning my throat. It's barely even warming my throat, I might say. So, yeah, and as far as like body, I mean, I would probably say this is borderline full-bodied, and the carbonation is fairly low. So, I mean, it kind of has that delivery akin to like an Imperial Stout. I would not call it creamy though. It's smooth, yes, but it's not creamy. Yeah, just love those potpourri pumpkin flavors. Yeah, this is really good, and this is surprising. I looked it up on Untappd. I had this 10 years ago, way back in the the New York days of this show. I liked it a lot then, and I still like it a lot now. It's funny. I gave the pumpkin lager a 9 out of 10. To me, this is like a toss-up between a 9 and a 9.5. Like, it's really that good. I would love to have Southern Tier Rum King to do like a side-by-side to see which one I really like better. I think I'd probably go with the Rum King because like that has more of like a pumpkin pie kind of flavor. And this is more potpourri. But yeah, I like the mouthfeel, the delivery, the drinkability. Maybe I think like, maybe it's just my personal preference because I kind of prefer the pumpkin pie kind of beers over the pumpkin potpourri kind of beers. But and I would kind of like a more, like they just say pumpkin pie spice on here, which is kind of a like natural flavors kind of term. It's like, what is that exactly? Cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, clove, allspice. I don't know. But yeah, this is just pumpkin potpourri as an English barley wine aged in brandy barrels. So yeah, it's a really interesting beer. And by the way, this was only $5. Well, $4.99 at Total Wine. That's a really good deal. So was the lager too. So yeah, pumpkin Imperial Ale, barrel aged. Really like it. 2 enthusiastic thumbs up from me. I'm gonna give this, just like the pumpkin lager, I'm going 9 out of 10. Maybe 9-point smiley face, as Henry would say. All right, so I'm going very long. If you've watched all the way in, you're awesome. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys for Whiskey Wednesday. Cheers.
Somebody brewed it. Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's Beer Review.
Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.